Do you want to learn how to steal customer credit card information from major retailers so you can buy anything you want?
Well, we can't help you with that. But among the many IT problems we solve, Barracuda's award-winning firewalls prevent hackers from taking your valuable data to the bank. Reclaim your network like 150,000 other businesses have. To learn more about protecting customer data and your reputation, visit barracuda.com/firewalls.
Bill Plaschke, there he is, and Tim Kalishaw, Kate Fagan, and Bob Ryan. Hello, happy Friday. Today's sevens, sepsis, and also Queen Bee, Crisp J's, and the kiss denied. It's the celibate.
Ma, please.
News of the world today. If you're giving a speech to the entire world of the shortcomings of yesterday or in the past, are you doing it in French national battle? We or no? I think you are, Bob. Sepp Blatter on the Tomorrow Will Be Better platform. 4 more years. National panel. This was no surprise. But after the week that was, the arrests and the indictments, after the decades of corruption, of course, still doesn't even address the accusations of modern slavery and actual loss of human life. Where does this leave FIFA, Bill Plaschke? Take a crack at that.
It leads FIFA even further down the toilet than it even was at the beginning of the week. Who on earth in this organization would vote for this man? Obviously, you know, he thought he was going to get the majority. That's why he ended up winning. Who on earth would vote for a man who oversaw
133 people we saw today in the first vote.
But what was allegedly, so apparently the people of FIFA wanted to continue as it has been, which is corrupt, bribe taking, all this stuff. There was no surprise anything that's happened this week. You know what has to happen now, where it has to go now, Tony, is someone, I know the European Football Association wanted Blatter to step down or to delay the election. They need the footballers in Europe to stand down. They also need sponsors in America to say enough is enough. We're not going to back this guy. We're not going to back this organization. That's the only real change that's going to happen.
Well, yeah, it's really crazy. I don't see any rationale for them saying they couldn't postpone this election at all. Is there some just urgent business that has to be taken care of this weekend, that they have to know who the newly elected leader is? I mean, when all your underlings are getting arrested and charged, you can't dismiss yourself from that. And even in his acceptance speech after he won, he said, you know, I will be in charge of FIFA. I will get us back to shore. If you need to get back to shore, you were the one who was in charge.
Well, when they got away from the shore. Term's always for, right, Tim? To get you back to shore after the first 4 terms. Kate, where are you on FIFA today?
I think FIFA is on really shaky foundation here. The corruption, to me, is only one part of like a larger systemic issue, and that is that FIFA's leadership does not actually reflect the game. Last year, their 25 executive committee members had an average age of 64. They had 1 woman. Now, you heard Sepp Blatter say earlier today they need more ladies. That's absolutely true because the diversity in that leadership does not reflect who is playing soccer. This executive committee and Blatter is not the future of soccer, and I don't think FIFA is the future of soccer.
Bob Ryan.
Not much. What can I add? It's so self-evident that FIFA is a joke, that he was going to get reelected. It was as predictable as Meryl Streep being nominated for another Academy Award next year. You know, you knew it was going to happen, and it just states to the world that they don't have any intention of changing their basic MO. The handout is still, you know, for the bribe is still the way that the business is done. And I still think they have one major piece of business. I cannot bring myself to believe that Qatar Cup will ever take place. It cannot
This shows
allow
me that
that
the
thing to happen.
the FIFA members believe their organization is bulletproof. I want somebody in the world to stand up and tell them they're not. Somebody's got to stand up and say, you're not bulletproof.
So who's that somebody? I know you said you needed UEFA, you need some of the
sponsors, you need the government agencies, you need... Well, no, I think it's all about money. It's all about money. If the sponsors back out, then it'll crumble.
Sponsors. Okay. We've been horned. We just made it through a soccer discussion. Let's talk some hockey right now. Hold on to your butts.
Yes.
Lightning Rangers tonight. Blackhawks Ducks tomorrow. 2 Game 7s in the conference finals for the first time since the year 2000. Tim, people of your ilk have argued that the NHL needs New York and Chicago in the finals. Are you with those people?
I personally do not need. I think Tampa Bay Lightning is fascinating to watch. I think the Anaheim Ducks are the best team in the playoffs. But the NHL at large, yes, it needs New York, Chicago. That would be ideal. That would be a drastically different rating, even from New York, Anaheim, even from Chicago, which gets great ratings, against Tampa Bay. They need two original six teams. They need those markets. They're great teams, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think New York and Anaheim are going to win these two games.
Kate, we'll get to the pick of the games in a bit, but there was right there the argument New York and Chicago is needed. What do you say to that?
No, I don't think the NHL needs that. I mean, the last 10 years, the revenue of the NHL has been steadily growing, except for the lockout year in 2012, 2013. The NHL is doing just fine. The NHL has never counted on these casual bandwagon fans. Will a few more people tune in to New York, Chicago? Probably, but the NHL's business model is about diehard fans who tune in night after night.
Bob Ryan?
I think that it doesn't need New York and Chicago, but you would have to be very foolish to say it wouldn't be a better scenario for them. The NBA still needs big markets. They live in fear and dread that someday it's going to be a Portland-Atlanta finals. They don't want anything like that, and the NHL would be better served with New York and Chicago, but the average fan nearly needs this stuff. It's sad, but true.
Bill Plaschke.
I totally disagree, Bob. First off, the average fan doesn't even know who the original six were probably by this time. I think this trivializes, to say they need a market to sell their Stanley Cup finals, trivializes the greatness of the hockey we've seen the last couple of months. This is great hockey. I don't care what uniform it is. I don't care what the weather's like outside the arena. And besides, Tim had a good point. The Lightning, highest scoring team in hockey, that's going to get some fans. And the Ducks have all these characters, Corey Perry, Ryan Getzlaf, Bruce Boudreau, their coach. I mean, there's great storylines in Anaheim and Tampa Bay, and hockey fans cling to that. It's good hockey. That'll
Timmy,
work.
you said you had New York and Anaheim. How will these games be won?
I just can't go against Lundqvist. I know that's been a high-scoring series, but Game 7s, everybody gets a little tighter. Everybody squeezes their sticks, as they say. That'll be a low-scoring game. The Rangers win. I think Anaheim, Chicago, that could still be a wide-open game. But I think the Ducks are the better team.
Kate Fagan?
I got New York's Chris Kreider scoring early tonight, and then Lundqvist holds on. New York wins. I think New York, Anaheim. Sorry, Sarah Spain. Your Blackhawks are going down.
New York wins 3-1 with an empty netter settling it, and I do think Anaheim's going to win as well.
Plaschke.
New York wins with Lundqvist, and Anaheim wins in double overtime.
You guys,
things
always
always
overtime. Good, I'm writing that down. You guys are so casual with your picks. You do know the picks you make equal the mutes you take on Monday.
Believe me, I do. Believe me,
Okay.
Tony, I do.
Yes, you do, Bill.
Yeah.
Before we
thank
move
you.
on to headline 3, I want to make sure we're in a culture of trust here. Are we? Culture of trust? Good. The Bulls. Oh, yes. And the pursuit of a coach. Fred Hoiberg, maybe. Everyone thinks this could happen, is happening. Ames Tribune reported that Hoiberg would not tell a recruit he'd be in Ames long-term this past spring. NBA is where he may be dreaming about. Kate, is Fred Hoiberg the right man for this job, and are the Bulls the right job for that man?
I think he is. The problem with Tibbs, everybody says, is that he wasn't politic enough. And here's a guy whose nickname is the mayor. So I think this job is perfect for him. He also only played in Minnesota, Indiana, and Chicago during his NBA career. He's got a small little radius there. 3 teams probably he would move to, and I think Chicago is the best job among those 3.
The politics of being the mayor. That was the mayor of Ames, though. I mean, that's where he'd be leaving, right? Bob Ryan, how about Hoiberg?
When the inevitable announcement is made that a press conference will be held to announce the new coach of the Bulls, it'll be Fred Hoiberg. That'll be the fulfillment of a destiny. He's been heading for this job for a couple of years now. There's no question. Is it the right job for him? Absolutely. Is he the right job for them? Fit for them? We'll see. Who knows? But I know this is the job that he's destined to have.
Okay, so you're willing to give it a we'll see here. We've got some time to let this play out. That's not how this show works usually. How about you, Bill Plaschke?
Yeah, this is the perfect job for him and the perfect fit. Remember, he played, Gar Forman was an assistant coach at Iowa State when Fred played there. So he played for so he's already got it in with the Bulls front office. They already have a communication going there. And Brad Stevens showed that players will listen to solid college coaches who can relate to them. This can work, and it will work.
Alishaw.
Plaschke's right. He already has a relationship that obviously Mr. Tibbs could never really foster or didn't care to in his time there. But I have to question, I like Fred Hoiberg a lot as a coach. He's been a great college coach. Does that mean he's a perfect fit for coaching NBA players and guys who have won enough to get to the second round and one time get to the conference finals? I mean, that's something nobody knows. And you're going to have to see exactly what style he brings. But I would think the players would be accepting of him after dealing with
When you read that report that he had told a recruit, well, he couldn't tell a recruit, I should say, that he was going to be there long term, what did you think, Kate?
I I was surprised that he was honest. I mean, I'm kind of to the place now where I expect these guys to lie to get recruits there. Like,
right,
if
and
you
so
have the job,
honesty
just
was
go back to
refreshing
Iowa
to you
State.
to hear that from. I mean, it wasn't exactly good for Iowa State. They couldn't get the
That was
Murray.
very unpolitician-like, actually telling the truth right there.
Yeah, so maybe he's not as mayoral as you had previously thought. Flasky 8, Cloudishaw 7, Fig, and 6, Ryan 6. One was taking a break.
Dead
Coming
ball.
up, whether it's Wayne Wade is thinking about opting out and joining those Bulls, and how good that Rose-Wade combo would be for those 17 games. Stick around.
Geico presents Strange Savings Stories. Astronomers detected an interstellar transmission. It stated, Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. The implications were staggering. Was the cosmos telling us we could all save hundreds on car insurance with Geico? Or did their radar merely pick up a signal from the nearby Rufus and Clyde's morning show? We may never know.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Buy or sell.
Wayne Wade player option this summer. Today's reporting from Miami. He wants to opt out to see if he can get a 3-year deal from the Heat. Or if not, talent removal from South Beach. Phil, what do you think the chances Wade leaves the Heat are?
I think very slim. Just don't forget, just a little while ago, he told the Miami Heat beat writers during his exit interview that he was not going to opt out. He specifically said, I'm not opting out. I don't know what's changed in the last few weeks, but probably he's going to negotiate, get some more money.
Do you think
I can't see him going anywhere.
Okay,
yeah,
how
I can't
about
see
you,
him going anywhere.
I think he ends up staying there. There have been a couple instances in the past where he's discussed leaving. He's never done it. He averaged 21 points for a non-playoff team. That's a lot different from going to the Bulls or someone like that and averaging 21 points on a really good team. I don't think he can do that.
Fagan?
Wade sounds here like he wants us to believe that he's going to take like a hard stand, but the logic flaw is that this is a guy who twice restructured his contract for the team to win for other players. Like, this isn't a guy who takes a hard line and is going to walk away from this city for a couple $1 million.
Couldn't that be part of the thought process here, though? Twice I took less money to stay with this team. It's now time that I get paid?
Yeah, a little bit, and I expect Miami to give him a couple more million than another team would, but he's not going to get more.
Do you
elsewhere.
think this is an opt-out, then get 3 years from Miami?
Yes.
How about you, Bob?
He's not worth it to anybody else at any very, very, very high level. He doesn't play enough games. He misses way too many games, and then some of the ones he plays, he's not healthy enough to be viable. He's synonymous with the franchise. He should do everything he can to solidify that image and stay.
You don't think he would fit another team? I'm just throwing names out. We're not even thinking about money, because the money for Chicago, it would be very hard to match up. Oklahoma City, just adding him would be something that they would like to do. You don't know.
There are no shots.
No, but at what cost?
Okay, you guys are looking at me like I'm crazy. I guess
How much impact can he have?
Buy or sell too. Chip Kelly and LaShawn McCoy's comments that he got rid of all the good black players, and there was a reason for it. Kelly yesterday told reporters he's wrong. He said race plays no part in building the team. Players backed the coach yesterday on record. Tim, what do you make of Chip Kelly and the Eagles' response to the McCoy allegations?
I think he's going to get through this all right. I think he went through a much tougher situation 2 years ago when he had a white player accused of racism in a largely African-American locker room. That is a lot harder thing to deal with than one rather disgruntled player leaving and making this accusation, unless we hear a lot of support from LaShawn McCoy, which to this point there hasn't been.
Okay, Fagan.
I sell that I even care what Chip Kelly says about this. I think anybody who's accused of racism or any ism is usually not self-aware that they hold those bias. So what I care about is what the players he's coached have said about him. And to a man, they have all said that they don't agree with this except for LaShawn McCoy. So I'm listening to those players more than anything
Bob
else.
Ryan.
I will state categorically that in the year 2015, no one could advance as far as Chip Kelly has in any major sport if he is or she is a racist. It's a preposterous charge. Let's just move on, please, Philadelphia.
For this, Phil, maybe, he says he has no plans to address this with the team. Do you think he should?
No, absolutely not. I mean, I think he shouldn't. It's a shame he had to address it at all. I mean, there's so many serious, real racism issues in this country that, shame on LaShawn McCoy for throwing this out there when there's no basis in fact. You even had DeMarco Murray looking around the practice field saying, well, there's a lot of us out here. It's like they're actually counting the African Americans. It's such a farce. Why even bring this up? It's not an issue.
Buy or sell 3. Adrian Peterson on guaranteed and unguaranteed contracts, and on honor and dishonor, and on standards and double standards, 140 characters at a time. Kate, I know you were locked into this all day. How does Adrian Peterson come off?
It took me almost all day to decipher all those Twitter messages, but here's the conclusion I came to. I get his message. He's got a point. It's just he's the wrong messenger right now. He just needs to play football and move on from what happened last year and stop this.
Bob Ryan.
He's telling us nothing that we don't know. Every football fan understands that guaranteed contracts do not exist in that league. That's the nature of that sport. What is the basis for this particular rant right now? I'm sorry. He's not telling us a single thing we don't know. Play another sport.
I don't think it, like kids saying, people are not being self-aware of things. He's not aware of where he came from and why he's in this position and what the public opinion is of him. He needs to be quiet and play football. And he has a problem with contracts. Go to the union.
I like Adrian Peterson, and yes, he does have a point to make, but it doesn't relate to him because he made a lot of money last year to do almost nothing after he embarrassed himself and the Vikings team. He sat out 15 games. He's not in a position to say I need more money when I'm already the highest paid running back in the league.
Morning. Those are the numbers today. 13, 13, 13, 12. Bob Ryan. Just on the outside looking in. What's the last word?
You win a few, you lose a few, and sometimes they arrest you in your hotel room. What can I say?
What are you saying, Bob, actually?
What are you saying?
That's self-evident.
Okay, I guess. Yeah, sure. Flashy Callister Fagan, lightning round next. Coming up, Vanya and Gokul win, but Dad slays the B-father.
I cannot refuse any request on this, the day of my daughter's spelling.
The National Spelling Bee ending in a tie for the second consecutive year in a row straight because they ran out of words. Bill, do you possess the words to tell us if that's a problem for you? And if so, what's your solution?
Huge problem. You got to go to OT. You got to flip a coin, and these kids then have them challenge each other. You know these kids each have words. Vanya and Gokul, they each have words that they're really scared of. Have them ask each other, quiz each other, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
3 points for the solution, a point for the first name basis. Nicely done. How about you, Kalisha?
No, I don't have a problem with it. You know, anytime Vanya Shivashankar and Gokul Venkatachalam get together, you expect it to be a tie. But I would play off the tie, and I would go to the time-honored way, the around-the-horn way. The only way to end a good spelling bee, rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors. Yeah, all right. There we go. Kate Fagan.
Bill, no word scares these kids. No word. But I do have a solution because I don't like ties either. Just keep taking away their lifelines. That's what I call them, lifelines. Don't give them the definition. And then don't put it in a sentence. Don't give them the origin. As you pull those away, then they're kind of spelling blind.
Okay, but the last word, Gokul's last word, he wasn't asking for anything. He spit that out immediately. He knew
then he should be the winner. Then he's the winner.
Because you can't take it away from Vanya. You just can't do it.
He got LeBron.
Love Gokul's Jordans, though. Rocking the crisp J's. That could have been the tiebreaker. Lightning 2. Orlando Magic and Scott Skiles, maybe, question mark. Tim, 4 times a charm for Skiles.
Oh, well, it's a shame Izzy Gutierrez isn't here. Nobody loves to use a FaceTime on getting Scott Skiles a job like he does. I think this could be a good job for him, though. I think having Oladipo and Vucevic and some of the young players they have, Orlando's not a good team now. He can help them get there.
Okay, Fagan.
I mean, I prefer when franchises take risks and hire guys who haven't been hired before. But as far as Scott Skiles goes and what the Magic need, I'm sure it's right in line. I'm sure he'll do fine there.
Okay, how about you, Flashkey?
He's barely a 500 coach. How about two coaches who were in the NBA Finals, assistant coaches, Tyronn Lue in Cleveland, Alvin Gentry for Golden State. Both those guys would be great head coaching candidates, particularly Lue, who's never had a chance at it. He's going to be the next great head coach.
That's all you need right now, right? I mean, 2 rookie coaches in the NBA Finals this year. All you got to do is hire.
Right, there we go.
Fagan, 15 next to go. What's the last word?
I'll use my uneliminated, right? Don't I have one of those?
You do not have those lifelines that you were just speaking of for the spelling bee. Sorry to say.
No lifelines.
Fagan, Flashy Calistro, straight ahead. Tony Kanan, Swift vehicle. Go Flashkey. Taylor Swift vehicle. That's your girl, right?
Players gonna play.
ESPN Radio.
With the action on the court, the diamond, or the gridiron.
Comes alive.
The NBA.
The San Antonio Spurs are the world champions.
Major League Baseball.
San Francisco Giants are the champions of the baseball world.
A new college football playoff.
College football playoff national the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Your home for the best in sports play-by-play.
ESPN Radio.
It's showdown. It's Kalishaw and Plasky. May God have mercy on our souls. It's chemistry. Team chemistry. Brandon Marshall, New Jet, has moved in with Geno Smith, his new QB. For now. Bill, how do you see this going?
It's going great as long as, as Smith is passing him the salt or passing him the remote or passing him a tablet. One of these days, you have to pass him a football, and that may not go so good. Marshall's a very demanding guy. They'll be great.
This is a bad idea. You can move in with your quarterback if your quarterback is named Drew Brees or Tom Brady or something. Yeah. If it's a guy hanging by a thread who might lose his job to Bryce Petty by week 5, you don't really want to be living with.
Or maybe this will be what gets Geno over the hump.
Could be.
No, not a chance.
Showdown 2. Check this out. Tony Kanan's Taylor Swift car that he's going to be racing with this week at the Detroit Belle Isle Grand Prix. Tim, what do you think this does to Tony Kanaan, and what does this do to your interest in the race?
My interest is about the same, but, Taylor Swift can't believe it. This is unbelievable. She's on this car. She never expected anything like this to happen. This is such a tribute to her fans.
This is going to help him win the race, because when he gets in the corner, he's going to be able to shake it off, and go across the finish line. This will win him the race. I love Taylor Swift.
We know you do, and I appreciate that. That was actually very meta and strong reference from Kalishaw. Swift, very surprised. Kalishaw, are you surprised you FaceTime?
I gave you song lyrics.
Another win, and it was a triumphant night out at the ballpark, if it can be triumphant in a 5-1 loss to the Boston Red Sox. Josh Hamilton came back. First game in Arlington as a Texas Ranger. The man was booed loudly and vociferously for 2 years as an Angel after criticizing Ranger fans. He asked for an apology. He came back. There was 34,000 fans. You couldn't hear anybody booing. Credit to the fans. Credit to him for hitting a double on the first pitch and for driving in the only run of the night.
And credit to Tim Kalishaw.
Regular love fest there.
Your wins.
He crashed the fans.
To do it, folks. Thanks for coming around. We're on a 71.5-hour break.
I gave you actual